Hi guys and welcome back to Birmingham Fan TV, sponsored by Boyle Sports. Hi guys and welcome back to the show. It's been a week, it hasn't been a couple of weeks this time. We start the show with another really positive result from the weekend against Swansea. But let's have a chat to the guys before we get on with the show. James, Corey, welcome back. Have you had a good weekend and week so far?
I'm back in work. Sends off these like hip hip hooray, big explosions. 5 months on the furlough scheme, man. I'm back in work this week. And then Boris yesterday throwing out his if you can work from home, work from home. And I'm like, mate, I've literally just got back in the office. Don't tell me that. Like, I would rather stay in the office at this point. But yeah, been a busy week. But yeah, other than that and the 5 o'clock starts, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, for me, it's been a bit of a busy week personally, but a good week. So yeah, and a good win for Blues really over the weekend.
Yeah, fantastic result of the weekend, wasn't it? Really holding Swansea to that 0-0 draw. But shall we jump straight into it? Should we go into the negative instant, or should we start with the positives?
No, we'll talk about the politics first.
Positives, not politics.
No, politics. We're going to talk about politics. This is now a politics show.
Okay, right, okay then.
Politics it is.
All politics are liars.
Whoa. Well,
I'm so glad that Theresa May isn't in charge at the moment. Right, okay. I just don't like that woman. Anyway.
That was harsh.
Well, I'm not lying. I thought about it the other day. Imagine if she was in charge at the moment. I mean, it's a car crash at the moment, but we would probably be in a worse state.
You reckon? Well, okay, fair enough. We'll leave it at that then.
Mm-hmm.
But carry on.
What else about politics? I mean,
No,
I don't know.
Just get into the football talk now. People who come here for a football talk, we'll talk about football.
You started it.
Yeah.
So we held Swansea at the weekend, a team that were in the playoffs at the end of last season. They played really well at the end of last season. They really came onto their own. I think they've got a really good manager in Steve Cooper, really strong squad, but we managed to keep them to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, it was another good result, wasn't it, Corey? It was really pleasing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I just realised at the start, actually, we won. We didn't win, but it felt like a win.
Long week already for you, Corey.
Yeah, it was that good. A nervous start, but all in all, it was a pretty good performance once again.
Yeah, it was a bit of a nervous start, wasn't it, really? You can excuse that. It was first away game of the season against another top 6 side. Yeah, the emphasis was always going to be on us to try and start well, because if we started off badly, like really badly, we could have been in for a long game. But you could see the nerves. But then after sort of 10, 15 minutes where we didn't concede, we built a lot of confidence, and that showed on the pitch then, because I thought after the first 15 minutes, for the final half an hour of the first half, I thought we were the better team. We looked a little bit more threatening and potent in our attack. Imagine if the referee would have gave us anything, that would have been nice, wouldn't it? But Birmingham City can't go expecting any decisions these days. And then so I was really pleased with the first half performance, especially. Yeah.
I think one hesitation I do have is that the Swansea side we played over the weekend isn't the same Swansea side we played last year. They're not as strong. After they lost Conor Gallagher. Lost obviously Ryan Bruce, although they scored quite a few goals towards the end of the season. I don't think they'll finish as high as they did last season. I imagine to have still a positive obviously end to the season, but I don't think they'll be the same Swansea this year. But the one question is, we got to the red kits, the away kits. What are we favouring towards, the blue or the red?
Oh, I absolutely love red kits.
Yeah, the
red England kits have always got me. Like Staines kits always got me. I just love red kits. I think they just look so classy. There's just something about them I really like. And I think because of the blue kit looking so similar to Portsmouth, I instantly am just like, it's nice, but it's not Blues. So
I'm going to be unpopular here. I'm going to say that the home kit's won me over.
fight me.
It's really won me over. I'm still not with the every week. I'm not having the collars. I just don't do collars on football shirts. But I actually think the design's pretty sweet on the home one. It's quite nice. Yeah, it's quite nice. It flows quite well. It's quite sharp. I think it's pretty smart. The away kit's nice as well. Don't get me wrong. I think they're two pretty good kits, to be fair. No grumbling about it. Nothing's like phenomenal, but yeah, I thought we looked good. And
I think it's pretty sharp.
Wow, it's a football kit. It's going to get dirty at the end of the day, isn't it? So you knew you were expecting that one.
So negative.
I know. Terrible. But
Do you want me to bring some positivity back to it, though?
There is positivity. Go on then.
There is. Total shots. We had 10 to Swansea's 8. Although they had more shots on target than us. They had 5. We had 3. That's basically it, really.
No, yeah.
That's
look,
the most important ones. We had more tackles. We intercepted more. We cleared 25 to their 19. It depends how you look at it. But we had a lot less accurate passes than them. But one note is that we're still doing long balls, though not as many, and only half of them are accurate. So maybe we're going to close that down a little bit.
I think, like I say, statistics are
manipulatable.
Yeah, I'm still in favour of statistics, but one thing you could see was that at times last season we tried to counter attack, but we'd have games where we'd only have 1 or 2 shots. So what we're showing is that Blues can still play counter attack, but are having a lot more opportunities. They're creating a lot more. We need to be a little bit more ruthless, which we'll get onto in a bit. And obviously heading into our Rotherham one. But, I didn't expect us to have a lot of the ball on Saturday. I didn't, because we know Swansea are going to one of the few teams that absolutely dominate the ball in this league. They will have as much as they can. But for me, it was about being solid and then trying to be really sharp on the break. And I thought we did it really well. I don't remember many opportunities for Swansea other than the late chance where they really threatened us, like with some serious sort of danger. So again, it just goes to show how well the team in front of the goalkeeper's doing, preventing these opportunities and making it really difficult for us to break down. That's how you then start to build a team. Because like I say, if you can't defend, it's no good scoring and not defending. As QPR found last season, I think they were one of the highest scorers in the league, but also one of the highest conceding teams. They could not defend, and they ended up near us. Well, not in relegation, but they were lower mid-table. So you know what I mean. You have to start with a solid base, and I think that's reflected in the 2 clean sheets, Em, isn't it?
I would say so, but I think I've got in the notes here about a clean sheet king. Speaking about Aitor Karanka, 2 games, 2 clean sheets. Can't complain, can we really?
No. Yeah, go on, Corey.
So we can't. I think that, like we spoke obviously in pre-season, the confidence of having a goalkeeper of a certain standard, and we know Karanka loves a good clean sheet. I think he loves clean sheets more than goals. Loves to defend, but we look to threat on the attack. I think what was nice to see was set pieces. We know in this league, in order to get promoted, you need to be able to score from set pieces. And the variety and the difference, they have long throws, which I'm hopefully are scrapped for this season completely. And that we have normal throw-ins, and actually variety in the set pieces. I think we saw a short corner. We saw the Borussia Dortmund free kick trademark there.
Yes, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, like I say, I think it's positive to see we're trying new things.
Yeah, I'm going back to the clean sheet point. I think I made that note because obviously we've started the season with 2 clean sheets from the first 2 league games against 2 teams that are really high scorers, first of all. Both Swansea and Brentford last year demolished some teams and were certainly one of the highest scorers, both of them. Obviously, I know what Corey said about Swansea losing Gallagher and Brewster, so they're lacking a bit of firepower.
And to be fair, Brentford lost Ollie Watkins as well.
Yeah, but they still had, Ivan Toney and that. So for me, they were still strong enough to have beaten us. And they still had Brian and Mbeumo, etc. They were 90% up to capacity. The point is, though, Aitor Karanka's record, I think, in the Championship, someone put yesterday, was something like 175 games in the Championship and 75 clean sheets. Like,
that is a record.
45%, wasn't it? 45% clean sheet ratio.
Something like that. Something weird, like a 45% clean sheet ratio. That is, I would put my hat on it. There isn't a manager with a better clean sheet ratio in this league than Aitor Karanka. I would put my hat on that. And, that's how he wins games because, like I say, first of all, it's basic knowledge. If you don't concede, you don't lose a game of football. You will draw every other game if you don't score, but it's still 46 points. You never lose. You'll never go down. If you had a couple of goals in there, you get what I'm saying. The point is,
you never lose a game. You up and it works every time.
It's been a long day and I'm going to lose it in a minute. No, I'm joking. But it's, it's basic sort of football that Blues haven't had. It's the basics that we've not done right in the last couple of seasons. And he's come in and said, let's go back to basics and strip it back and try again, which is what Rowett did when he first came to Blues and it worked. It's just, you got to strip it back to basics and go again. And
if we look at last season, West Brom, and they drew 16 times last season, and they still got promoted. That's level of the league. I think if you're solid at the back, there aren't too many sides in the bottom who are going to score goals past you. There aren't that many marquee strikers in the league. So we'll say it'll be an interesting season, really.
Yeah, exactly. Don't if you can't win, don't lose. It's the mentality that you need to have to be up the top in this league. And I think that's what he's going to bring to us. Like I say, I still have not worries, not doubts either. I'm trying to think of the word. There's still things to
concerns.
No, there's still things to improve on in certain areas, which again we'll get onto later on. But I'm so happy to at least see us not shipping 3 goals a game like we averaged after lockdown. 3 goals a game we were averaging. It is absolutely ridiculous. And to be fair, some of the teams we were playing were like Hull and Huddersfield and Charlton. They were all down the bottom.
Yeah, it wasn't good, was it?
So, no, I'm really pleased to have seen 2 clean sheets from the opening 2 games.
Let's tail on from that, clean sheets. We've had 2 really good goalkeepers in goal for us last 2 games, but Neil Etheridge's save, though, in the final minutes, really, against Swansea. Let's talk about that.
Well, the man's a giant, isn't he? Honestly, brilliant. And that's the difference in class, isn't it? Last season, with Camping goal, that's going in. And I know, no offense to Camp, but he made some amazing saves, but more than likely, 9 times out of 10, that's going in last season. And that makes a difference. It makes a whole lot of difference, confidence-wise, even results-wise. Like you say, I think he will be the first choice. Me and James were wrong last week. We thought Zach would keep his position. And a lot of people surprisingly thought Neil should come straight in. And he did. I wonder how much game time Zach will get this season.
I think he'll be loaned out personally. I think he'll get some first team game time elsewhere. I put a tweet out on the Twitter account last week. I think it was on the Thursday night, asking whether G-Cock should keep his place. And a lot of people weren't happy that we suggested that. A lot of people said, that's a crazy suggestion, or, how can you think that? But first of all, I scheduled that tweet on the Monday, which was before Karanka had even said, I've made my mind up and he's coming out. But, nobody thought he would be in for the Brentford game. I know Prieto got injured and everybody expected Prieto to play. But if you'd have known that Prieto was injured, you'd have all thought Etheridge will go in for that game anyway. But he didn't. And to keep a clean sheet, I was a little bit surprised that he didn't stick with him. And then I wasn't at the same time, because it was a tough away game. You want to have a really sort of vocal goalkeeper in there commanding, and Etheridge brings that confidence. So, you know, it sparked a bit of uproar, should we say. But, you know, you think about it logically, you know, it wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world, or it wouldn't have been the craziest thing to have kept him in goal. But it made sense to bring Etheridge in also. So it was a tough decision, but it's, you know, it's a good decision for the manager. If he's got 2 or 3 good goalkeepers to choose from, then why not? But I do agree with what people were saying. He's first choice goalkeeper, and that he showed why on Saturday with that, you know, result saving save, because like Corey says, that goes in last season and we lose that game instead of drawing it. So goalkeeper wins your points.
Now, this is something that I don't necessarily want to speak about too much, but I think it's really important to mention it. Coming up to, at half time, as the players coming off the pitch, John Terrell was having what looked like a little bit of a moan, and Alan Tate from Swansea's coaching staff grabs him by the throat. Terrell falls to the floor. I mean, you would. It's a natural reaction to get away from someone when they grab your throat. But I've seen a lot of people online almost applauding Alan Tate for that, and I just wanted to quickly talk about it. I think it's quite it badly impacts the game if you are applauding things like that, because obviously if it was against your team, you'd be very much against it. As a neutral, you should be very much against it. And as a Blues fan, it's very disgusting to see, actually, in my personal opinion. I know other people think differently, but it's assault. If that wasn't on a football pitch, that's assault. And I don't know what's happened yet, but I personally think he should be banned for a considerable amount of games and fined heavily. What do you think?
Yeah. James, go first.
Oh, I got angry when I saw it. I started arguing, which I said some things I probably shouldn't have said online, which I immediately backtrack on. But I was still angry, you know, that, well, I think it was only the Swansea fans really that were kind of going, yeah, obviously. Bit of a strange thing to do. However you look at it, yeah, Terrell hit the ground a bit easy, you know, but I don't think he didn't roll around like he's just been shot. He kind of sat down and then got back up, like
he stepped back, didn't he, and fell back. Which
he was pushed over. He fell over.
So it's a natural reaction.
Yeah, I don't think he play acted or anything. But look, at the end of the day, he's been grabbed around the throat and shoved and pushed over to the floor. You grab someone around the throat, it's a ban. You can't argue. There's no argument. He has been charged. He's got, I think he's got 3 days to appeal it, which I doubt they will. So he'll probably get a 3-match touchline ban, a fine.
That's not enough.
That's the letter of the law. That's a standard practice for this procedure. So it just turned into a WWE match, didn't it? It looked like something. Who was it that used to do the choke slams from WWE? Corey, do you know?
I'm not a WWE fan.
Yeah,
sorry.
I watched it when I was really young, like 10 or something like that. I can't remember how young.
I went to see it live.
No, of course you did. You're that person. Who used to do the choke? Was it Batista? He used to do the choke slams.
Not gonna lie, I was like into the Miz.
I don't know who that is.
So, because he looked like Michael Bublé, so I was 13 at the time.
Of course.
James, what we'll do, we'll let everyone drop it in the comments.
Good
Who does it? Who does those? Who does the choke slam? Let us know. But it was bizarre. I don't know what Terrell said. I think he was having a go at. Bidwell behind Tate, who I think he'd been up against sort of in the game. He was having a bit of a verbal with him, which is kind of standard practice. You just don't grab someone though. If Tate like shoulder barges him or, you know,
pushes him or, you know,
just squares up to him, you know, I doubt he'd got a ban. But to grab someone around the throat was really strange. Like it just seemed like
it was a bit weird, wasn't it? Like you just think, why would you do that?
Clearly lost his head.
Even a little shove like they do during the game, like wouldn't be as bad as grabbing someone by the throat. If he'd pushed him hard enough, like I'm overreacting a little bit, but you've got to think of it like that, because what if the worst were to happen? I'm just reading here. It says, I'm looking at Wales Online. It says, Tate has until the end of the week to respond to the charge with a fine, touchline ban and stadium ban, all among the possible punishments for the incident. So they haven't actually said what his punishment is yet.
No, but it's a standard practice that he gets a 3-game. He won't be in the stadium, he won't be on the touchline, and he'll get a fine.
Still not good enough for me, but there we are. That's always me, isn't it?
No, I'm gonna throw a controversial opinion. I don't condone what he did. And I think the fans, the Swansea point of view, I don't condone what they said or did during the game on Twitter or wherever it was. But it was in the moment. And
of course.
We want to say from the Jack Grealish point of view, I don't bring all that in, but that happened. And until after 90 minutes, I admit I didn't realise how bad it was. Until going back home after that game, reviewing what happened and seeing it like on TV, a closer image, you don't realise how bad someone's actually done. And my problem is, a few days after, Swansea fans are still saying, "Oh yeah, that was great what he did. It was brilliant." Or even when Sky reported that that he'd been charged, I still saw Swansea fans going, "Oh yeah," applauding him. I think in the moment, I tweeted, "Alan Tate, call the care home for Alan Tate," and I deleted it within 10 seconds because I thought, no, that's really mature and really petty, and I deleted it. But I understand the aggression, but it was Swansea versus Blues. There was no fans anyway. But like I said, I think a few days after, or even after 90 minutes, it's a game of football. No one deserves to be choke slammed or. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if there's handbags, that's like completely fine because it's a game of football. You know, that is how it is. You know, you're not going to go around and say, "Oh, no one ever gets in an argument in football. No one ever like pushes each other, whatever," because that's just the way it is. That's the game. But grabbing someone by the throat instantly for me is just a red flag. So I don't like it at all. But
on the other hand, it's the kind of moment you want fans there for. Can imagine that had just really boiled the away fan. The Blues fans would have gone absolutely mad at that. You know,
I don't think he would have done it if fans were there.
No, he would have. I think he would.
I don't think he would have. I genuinely don't, because I think you think that people are watching at home, but you just don't realise the sheer amount of people actually watching. So he might just have switched off, but that still doesn't warrant anything. Like I can't get my head around it, and you guys know I get really passionate about things like this.
Luckily, the enforcer Ivan Sunjic didn't sort him out. And obviously, Daddy Clayton would have got in charge before it just got messy. Do you know what I mean?
George Friend lifting them all apart from each other.
He's too peaceful, George. He's like gentle George, isn't he? He wouldn't hurt a fly, I don't think. No, he's too soft. But strange moment.
It was, but let's park that, move on, and forget about it, because what will happen to him will happen to him, and I hope they throw the bucket in, but there we are. That's my opinion on the matter. Sanchez and Sunjic.
Sanchez.
Got that written down.
Yes, yeah. I put that down because for me personally, like I said, I don't know about the people at home listening. I don't know about you guys. I thought they were the two standout performers. And I've seen a lot of people online say, how can people not rate Sunjic? I'm waiting for the comment at some point from someone on Twitter.
James Jenkins _. You hate them.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to say Sunjic this season is a different beast to what he was last season. I said to you after the game on Saturday, they have unlocked him and he looks like the player we wanted. Last season, if anybody can tell me he was that player, they're a liar. They are a liar. He showed glimpses and he showed his quality. Yeah, but
Derby away.
Yes, he showed glimpses. He showed, against Middlesbrough at home, where we.
Am I a liar then?
A lot of the team were good, but Sunjic was awesome that night. He was awesome. Cardiff away, he was great. Derby away, he was good. He showed glimpses, but he wasn't as consistent as he has been in the first 3 games of this season. I'm including the cup game because I thought he was pretty good in that as well. He has been a different beast. The amount of ground he's covered, his breaking up of play has been superb. His positioning, his tackles have been timed well. Last season, he was fouling everyone, and it wasn't like he was breaking up play. He was just fouling them. This time, he's winning the ball back. He's able to start counter-attacks quickly with his interceptions. And his passing's been spot on as well, which has been the biggest delight for me. He's really, worked on his game clearly, and that looks a lot better too.
Is this really happening?
Yes, it is.
I'm feeling a bit flustered. You complimenting Ivan Sunjic. That has to be the soundbite.
Yeah, it has. Can we get a montage, Emily, of all the criticism James has done in the last 12 months of Sunjic?
Oh yeah, and then in the background, put that song, Rabbit, 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 Rabbit.
I think, yeah, James, I agree. Ivan Sunjic, we spoke this in pre-season. He's great. He showed glimpses last season, and he's really come on this season with his daddy Clayton.
You just love that, don't you? You just
I do. That's my tag. That is. Sunjic and Clayton, I can see it now. Emily, just drop some Champions League music into now.
Okay, hang on.
I can see Sunjic and Clayton lifting the Champions League in a few years' time.
Is that when Jude's come back as well?
He's been great. Yeah, he's been great. It's what we paid for. I think he's only going to get better for the rest of the season. Oh, here we go. Imagine, set the scene, Sunjic and Clayton. Jude comes off the bench, scores the winner. You can see it now.
There we are.
So strange. You're so weird, Emily. Yeah, no, I completely agree with Corey though. He's
There's nothing wrong with being weird. It's all about having fun.
Yeah, you're right. Life's too short. Have some fun, as my granddad once told me. I think Clayton's helped him. I think a mature head next to him. Not that Guards isn't, and I'm actually excited to see Guards come back in as well because he's kind of played a bit part of the last couple of games. But I think Gary Gardner as well. We're all forgetting he's an incredibly talented player on his day, and he shone a lot last season in a really poor team. So imagine what he can do in a half decent team. But at the minute, he's being kept out by two fantastic central midfielders who are really doing well in that midfield, and I'm struggling to fault them at the minute, either of them.
Well, I said to you, didn't I? I said that I personally now think out of those three, that Gardner's at the bottom of the pile in quality, and that's saying something because he's insane. And I've also just realised that I'm like the love child of Ivan Sunjic and Adam Clayton right now, so it's very extreme looking at myself. But I think that Gardner is so good, but those two have just taken it up to another level, and it's going to be interesting to watch Gardner play with them.
Yeah, it really will be. But I think there was another standout performer as well, wasn't there, on Saturday, who's also caught the eye in both the games as well, admittedly. And I think he's in the top 3 for chances created so far in the Championship this season. And that's Ivan Sanchez. Another Ivan and Ivan.
The unknown specimen, wasn't he, Ivan Sanchez? Like you say, we didn't know what to expect. A few highlights of some playoff games for El Jefe.
Don't start doing Spanish pronunciations around there.
But honestly, he's been great. He's actually gone above for him. He's been really good. I think what's been impressive is his ability just to keep the ball and buy fouls as well. He actually is getting us into a lot of good positions for set pieces.
Mm-hmm. It's something that we never have, really, is it? Like winning fouls.
It's what we want Crowley to do, which he hasn't been doing.
Yeah, I admittedly, like you say, he has not been in the team start of the season. He'll get his chance. He'll get his go, no doubt. But you're right. He does what we want. He's a little bit more in product than Crowley. And he's a different player. We've got two different types of wingers at the minute playing. You've got Bella, who's a lot more direct. He goes on the outside. He wants to get his crosses in. He wants to go to the byline. He's got a little bit more pace, I think, than Sanchez. He's a bit more direct, whereas Sanchez will come in on his left from the right-hand side, allow the fullback to overlap a little bit more and open that space up on the right. And obviously, he's got that wicked bend of a left foot. And he's a lot
like
more
what we wanted Hotter to be.
Yeah, I still think, this is going to be so unpopular, but I still think Hotter got a lot of slack and he doesn't deserve it. Other than the fact he's now a DVB and I don't like him. But when he was here...
Put your tin hat on, Corey.
Put your tin hat on, it's coming. When he was here, I think he still scored 6 goals and like 5 assists in that bad season. Something like that. So I still think, was he worth 6 million? No. Was he bad? Not particularly. Under Monk, he had a good season. But yes, I think Sanchez has started like a house on fire, which is great to see.
Okay, so I think that just about wraps up all the talk about the Swansea game. Let's quickly brush over the new incomings. There have been a few this week or since the last recording. Scott Hogan has officially been announced as being back as a Blue. We've got in Oriol Soldi DVB, as James likes to call him, Oriol Soldevilla, and San Jose has arrived. So we've got some fantastic new signings. Let's have a chat about them, lads.
Well, is Soldevilla, is he going to be the next Bernard's son? Are we not going to
DVB?
Is he going to be the next Bernard's son? It's my only concern. Are we actually going to see him play? He seems talented. Apparently, Barcelona offered him a year extension, but I think his pathway was blocked there. An interesting addition. Seemed a lot similar to that Hilton Fernandez, the Spanish one we got as well in the academy. Yeah. What do you think, James?
I'm excited about him personally. I know he's been bought for the 23s to then bring up to the first team, but he's an incredibly talented young man. You're not in La Masia for no reason. You don't go through their academy. It's not like, he was picked up by the academy to go into the academy. Yeah. So they saw something. If Barcelona can spot something, then clearly he's got it. It's pretty hard. I feel like if he was offered a deal, he probably thinks that at Barca, then he probably feels like he's probably not going to get the game time he needs to develop and move into up the chain, so to speak, at Barca, which is pretty hard to do, let's be honest. So I think he probably feels that it's a good opportunity to come to England now, and Blues probably clearly have this Spanish connection because he started at Cornella again, another one.
Yeah.
That's where he originally was, went to Barcelona and then to come here. So clearly, we're building this sort of trust circle, this group of players that we have many connections to. But yeah, no, he looks pretty good at it. I can't see him being another Bernard Holy Grail son.
Not true. I think the one thing, we spoke about this before, James, is that I think this is off record, that maybe this connection with UE Cornella was a platform for recruitment, to kind of get your foot in the door for Spanish players, the Spanish league. I think the club did release off this statement on the signing. They kind of hinted at that. Maybe something which will continue for the next year or two with Carranco having Spanish connections also.
They're connected to Barcelona, aren't they? Cornell. They are connected to Barcelona. Yeah. I don't know in what capacity. They're like a feeder club, I think, for Barcelona. Hence why he went to Barcelona's academy. Because they can just kind of pick which one they want, really. Yeah. So maybe we're feeling like we can maybe jump the queue with Barca. I don't know. There's an agent involved, and there's an agent who's bought many a player to Blues already, who's kind of feeding us this. Whether it's good or bad, I don't know. I don't think we've had too many bad players from him, clearly. So yeah, that one was pretty. I say that's one for the future, I believe. Maybe 1 or 2 years time when he's developed. Similar to a few of them in the 23s now, they've been bought and put in there to develop. But the other two, Scotty Hogan, who I'm really excited to get back.
I think we've spoken enough about Hogan, though, really. I think we should dedicate our time to a certain Senor San Jose. Signed him from Atletico Bilbao. He's played 304 times for them, scored 27 goals. He's played for Spain. He's played for the Basque Country. He's a Spanish international player. We've got an international player in our ranks. Granted, he probably hasn't played for a while, but hello, people. We're signing international players.
Do you know what's mad at that signing? I think it was Gilay Balahay. The Spanish.
William Bayard. Yeah.
That's the one. That's the pronunciation in mine.
I said don't take her on with Spanish pronunciations. You'll lose it.
Yeah, I might be sent to Cornera for a few
good idea.
Weeks, I think.
Get in touch with Blues. See what they can do.
Yeah. But like you say, I saw he did a thread on Twitter in the last day or two on that transfer. And signs like this, it sounds stupid, but honestly, when we've got people of that calibre doing analysis on a player we've signed. That doesn't happen. Blues. Normally, it's a Birmingham Mail report. We've got one of the biggest Spanish reporters in the world,
mate. Brian Dick over Guillaume any day.
Well, no.
I like Brian. You leave Brian alone.
I don't like his ratings, and he knows that. But there we are.
You're very critical, though, aren't you? No, but Corey's right.
I'm constructive.
Whatever you say, hon.
It's all positives.
Yeah, definitely. Corey's right, though. To get Guillaume commenting on it was a big shock, so to speak. He spoke on Karanka because he knows him well, and he knows San Jose well, and yeah, I think it took everyone by surprise, didn't it? Was it Richard Wilford? It's either you've got two bombs, you've got a Wab bomb, or you've got a Wilf bomb.
It was too early in the morning. It was like 9 o'clock, wasn't it? I was like, whoa, Wilf bomb. You didn't even give us any warning here. He dropped it straight away. Yeah,
like I say, though, that's definitely one of those deals that the club would have been so desperate to keep under wraps, because if word had have got out a week before they'd have done the deal, someone would have hijacked that deal. And it would have only been said by Richard when it was 99% done. I think he's got some sort of... I think the club are probably feeding him a little bit of information. He's probably close to the club, or the closest you're going to get to a contact. But yeah, what an incredible calibre of player. And I think he, for me, ticks the box of... I know we brought him in as a central midfielder, but I also feel like we probably don't need another centre-back at this point, because if we need him to, he can slot in at centre-back and play very comfortably there. He's a big unit of a guy. He's 6'2". Yeah. For a central midfielder, that is huge, man. Absolutely. He's going to remind me... He's going to turn out to be Papa Bouba Diop. And do you remember Papa Bouba? Absolutely. I think, did he play one game for Blues, Corey? And he scored one goal from a corner, didn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute wardrobe, man. 6 foot.
He just called someone a wardrobe.
He was called the Wardrobe. Papa Bouba Diop's nickname was the Wardrobe.
That's a horrible name.
He was a big lad. That's what he was. He's a good player, though. No doubt.
Yeah, but that's such a random nickname, the Wardrobe.
It was his size. I can't remember who. Was it Harry Redknapp called him that at Portsmouth? I feel like it might have been. Anyway, no, I don't think we can underestimate how big of a signing this was. But again, it's the Karanka pull. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You didn't have this manager in last time. If you didn't have this manager, you're not getting that player, and you're not getting a few of the players we got.
Do you know what I find quite strange? Since the signing of Everidge, look how the confidence and spirits changed. The tables have just turned now. We've really gone up a gear with transfers, confidence. Some early pundits are saying we're on the cards for promotion. What do you guys think?
Steady.
I'd put my hat. No, I'd say it. Bring it on. Bring it on. There's always that one team that sort of jumps in right at the last minute. I think we'll probably hover around it and then pop straight back in. I don't think there's a huge amount of teams that are going to be better than us now. Not a huge amount. There's not going to be 10 that are better than us.
Fair enough. I'll tell you after 8 games. I'm not commenting yet on it. It's too soon for me. I don't want to make another pre-prediction. No, 8 games is fair. It's like you got 36, 38 more games after that to make a cockle. 8 games, I think we'll see patterns in the league. If Blues go and beat Rotherham, and who's the game after that? Was it Stoke or someone like that?
Yeah, it's Stoke. It is Stoke.
I think it's Rotherham and Stoke. If we go and get 4 points from these next 2 games, and then we're sitting on 8 points from 12, I'll be happy with the outcome of the first 4 games. Let's put it that way. So I'll start to see something from it, because Stoke look a decent team as well this season. They've recruited well, started the season quite brightly. Who'd have thought, looking at the first 4 fixtures, Brentford at home, Swansea away, Rotherham at home, Stoke away. If you could get 8 points, I'd have took a limb for that. So
the real question is really, can we change gear? With the Rotherham game, can we... a side that's going to be very different to Brentford and Swansea. Can we change gear? Can we turn them over?
Well, that's what I was going to talk about in the Swansea preview.
You
Swansea.
mean Rotherham?
Rotherham. God, it's been a long day. I've been up for best part of 12 hours or so now. A bit more than that.
Boo-hoo. So is half the nation.
Yeah, but it's still early evening. Like, it shouldn't be. Look, I've been up since 5, right? I'm tired. And I only got 4 hours sleep.
What I was going to say was, I don't think we can necessarily judge anything about how the season's going to end because we don't know what's going to happen with COVID. And we've already heard that fans aren't going to be allowed back into stadiums for at least 6 months. We don't know if we're going to go into national lockdown again. We don't know whether this all means football's going to pause. I mean, look at what happened to West Ham last night. I can't get my head around this. 3 of their team and staff tested positive, but the game wasn't called off and everyone wasn't put into isolation. They still continued. You don't know what's going to happen. So I'm going to say, screw it. We're going to get 6th place.
It would be a Blues thing to do. It would be only Blues can go from finishing goal difference or a point above the drop last season and get top 6 and their fans can't go and watch it. It's such a Blues thing to do that, they'll get that. I wouldn't, like I say, I think I'm not confident. I'm not as confident as you guys simply because of 2 reasons. Blues fans always jump the gun.
Negative.
No, Blues fans always jump the gun, and I'm always a bit pessimistic, and I've not been wrong so far. We will have our best season this season since Gary Rowett left. That's a promise I can give. That's the promise I can give, which, considering we finished 10th 2 seasons in a row under Rowett, you'd take that, wouldn't you, really?
Bite your hand off for that.
Exactly. But I'm not as confident of like a top 6, top 8 finish because I still think we're lacking a small amount of firepower up front. Just that we're missing that something, and I'm not sure what it is. There's talk of Jack coming in.
Very quickly then, I want you to tell me 9 teams that are better than us.
9 teams that are better than Blues currently. Brentford, Norwich, Bristol City, Bournemouth. If Swansea had if Swansea had one more striker, if they get a good striker.
Yeah, but that's not the question. It's currently.
Okay. Currently.
So that puts us as 5th.
Forest.
By my calculations, that puts us as 6th.
No, Brentford, Forest.
Yeah.
Swansea,
Bristol City,
Norwich,
Bournemouth,
Norwich, Bristol. Puts us 8th. In mine.
What? Where's the other 2 come from?
Right, slow down. Let me do it again. Bristol,
1,
Bournemouth,
2,
Norwich,
3,
Swansea,
4.
Brentford.
You didn't put Swansea in there.
I've said it twice and you keep telling me no.
Because you said it was current.
Brentford, that's 5. Forest, that's 6. I had someone else in there as well. Oh, Watford, 7. So then we put ourselves 8. We go below them, so 8th.
I think that's
fair. At the minute, I think those are the teams that are better than us. There's still time to recruit, so other teams could bring in a couple of really good players. They could, there's teams above us who, there's always, you can't predict it. I think Blackburn are level on sort of par with us with what they've got. There's a couple of teams that are level with us. You're talking about better than us. They could finish level.
I'd switch. So, I think that Blackburn are better than Bristol City.
Yeah.
I think Bristol City are worse than us.
They've won both their games to start the season. They've got a very
It doesn't
good
matter,
squad.
does it, boy? What you just said, you'll judge after 8 games.
No, I think Bristol are still better than us. How long have they been building for now? A couple of years.
But new manager, new plan.
Yeah, but he's been there the whole time. Dean Holden, he's still been there.
7 years.
Was there while Monk was there? Different plan.
Yeah. Look, like I say, this is the beauty of it. The Championship is the most unpredictable league. One thing I can guarantee is we're going to have a good season. One thing I can't guarantee is how good, because, like I say, I still think we're missing a bit of power and maybe a bit of finesse up front.
Kane Jackson, Corey Barn. I'm still waiting for that transfer. My sources tell me close.
You see, there's talk of Jack Clark the other day, and I said to you guys weeks ago when it first come out, there was a first little bit of rumour. Just doesn't float my boat. He just doesn't. He doesn't cut it for me. I'm not particularly convinced that he's what we need. Leeds fans say they stole 9 million off Spurs. He can't do anything at Spurs, really. Went on loan to QPR last season, spoke to my mate who works for QPR, didn't rate him at all. I don't think that's something I want to see. I would rather see us wait and try and get someone else, personally. That's my take on it. If it happens, then great. I'm sure he'll offer some good depth. He wouldn't be a starter, ever.
No.
But I'd rather us wait, save the wage, and go after someone else. But
So let's round this up then with the Rotherham preview. We're playing against Rotherham on Saturday.
You reckon?
The week's gone by so quick. I can't believe the day it is already. I'm losing track. We're going to be playing against our old mate, Wes Harding. Whether he starts or not is a different story. But let's start with their results and key players.
Yeah.
Wes not counting as one of them because we already know about Wes.
Big Wes Harding. No, you can't wish anything but good wishes to Wes. You know, he's a great kid. He just hasn't done it at Blues, which is a shame. But I think they've got a couple of decent players. You know, Jamal Batman, they've signed in goal. We know he's got championship experience at Sheffield United. He's done well there. I think he's a half decent keeper. So I think he proves a test for Blues on Saturday. Obviously, you know, we're probably going to have to be at our best to beat him, in my honest opinion. They've got a couple of those sort of players that you never expect to do well, but always seem to show up when you're playing. I think Mattock at left back is one that's always been touted as a breakthrough player and one that could probably reach the top league. And can he? I don't know. You know, but certainly he's been injured for a while, and he's going to be hoping to make his breakthrough season. And then George Hurst, they signed on loan from Leicester. A bit of a raw talent, but someone that we've seen in pre-season against Blues a couple of games ago, and he looked good. I think he scored for that Leicester team. So there's a couple of good players in that Rotherham team, but I think key for them is they've got a really good manager in Paul Warne, who's obviously done a really good job there, and he keeps them stable. And they kind of yo-yo, but they're a team that you would back to try and stay up. Probably one of the favourites of the teams coming up to stay up. So they've got good players, and obviously we know in this league that if we're not at our best, we're going to get punished. And Rotherham just seem like one of those teams that could come and trip us up on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not an expert on Rotherham. I read a lot of the pundits' opinions on Rotherham I've seen pre-season. And a lot from what I can gather is they've changed as a side, as a club. They're looking not to be a yo-yo between Championship and League One. They're starting to invest in players. Obviously, the purchase of Wes Harding is a clear sign of that. But I think Karanka is going to he'll have a fun day with Rotherham Saturday. I expect Sanchez and Bayer to both go against Harding. Either half, I imagine. But like I say, I think they play a 4-4-2. I think they're like a Barnsley. I think in terms of what day you catch them on. I think they've got players with ability, but I don't think they'll be consistent. And we've got them early. So the confidence will be quite high, I think, at the moment, at the start of the season. So let's see how we get on.
Yeah, definitely. They've had a decent start to the season. They've won one, lost one. They've only conceded one goal, which was on Saturday in their 1-0 loss to Millwall. But they did beat Wickham on the opening day, 1-0. I think it was a 94th minute winner or something there. So they're not going to be a team that are going to come and cause us stupid amounts of problems. But they're also not going to concede too many, I don't think either. They're going to be one of those teams as well, maybe similar to us this season. So we're going to have to be at our best if we want to get anything from this game. And that's what I was going to get into now, is where Blues need to improve going into this one, which I think is, I want to see a bit more going forward from this one. This is the kind of game now where, you know, we've seen the one side of Blues where we've played the top teams who are going to be up there, and we know how to approach those. It's, you know, sitting deep, and we'll hit you on the break. And that's how we're going to be, I think, against a lot of the teams this season until we can transition into a more possession-based team. This is the kind of game where we need to dominate, and we need to have more of the ball, and we need to be on the front foot, pressing them higher. And I want to see a bit more ruthlessness and a bit more bite in attack. I really think Blues have lacked it in the last couple of seasons. And I really want to see us go at Rotherham and really maybe create sort of 15 plus chances. I think that's going to be important, that we can try and really cause them a lot of problems, because if we can't cause problems against a team like this on our own turf, then it's worrying that with the options that we've got as well.
For me, this game, there's going to be changes. And I think Hogan will drop in for this game. We spoke about he's a confidence player. What better side to play than Rotherham? They're going to be one of the bottom sides in the league, more than likely. I think Crowley will be dropped in there as well. I imagine those two will swap with Dukey and Terrell for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I would agree with you on the Hogan point especially. I think it's maybe a game that Hogan starts, tries to stretch the defence, and then if it's not working, you bring Dukey on to do what he does best, and just you put the ball in the box and cause absolute havoc. Or maybe put the both of them up there if it's not working in the second half. But I think I can certainly see Hogan starting this one. I think that he's been brought in as the number 9. You know, he's been given the 9 shirt, which really surprised me. I was surprised to see him get the 9. And there's a lot of responsibility. Yeah, really surprised. Yeah, I thought they would give it to someone else. You know, like I say, I still think they're chasing a forward.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. Who else?
Well, you don't know who's coming in. You don't know who's...
No, you don't. So why not give it to Scott Hogan?
I was just surprised.
Who would be a better candidate?
I think
what constitutes you giving someone a number 9 shirt? Because he could score 20 goals this season.
You know, they talk
and
about...
you'd say he doesn't deserve the number 9 shirt.
You know, we talk about that they've reportedly been chasing their marquee striker the whole summer.
Yeah.
I don't think Scott Hogan's their marquee striker.
But that doesn't mean he can't have number 9 shirt. That's so old-fashioned.
That's usually who you give the number 9 to, is your marquee sort of striker signing.
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. Chelsea gave Torres number 9. I mean, he wasn't exactly a prolific striker at that point.
£50
He cost them 50 million. Of course, they were going to give him it. That was their marquee.
Yeah, well, don't fight me on Fernando Torres, okay?
I will. I liked Torres as well. Look, Blues, look at the number 9s we've had. We've had, you know, Shea. I'm thinking back. We've had Donaldson. We've had Makeda. We've had Marlon King. You've got to think of the 9s Blues have always been their marquee striker. Always.
But what if Hogan is? Don't judge him yet. I think you're really unfairly judging Scott Hogan. Look at how good he was before lockdown. Why not give him the number 9 shirt?
I was singing his praises.
What would you give him then? What would you give him?
I think
number
the price we paid, the deal, I don't think, and that's what James was trying to get at. The deal we got for him, we knew was never going to be more than 5 million, was it? We knew
true.
That. Yeah. I think that's what we expect them to spend big money on a younger striker who's got more potential than Scott Hogan potentially.
But then,
it's pressure on his shoulders, isn't it? Though, like it's a big shoes to fill. It is big shoes to fill.
I think for him it is.
For him.
But imagine giving a young striker number 9 then. You're going to cripple them with that with fear.
Yeah, but
exactly.
The younger striker's got more years, and you give a bit more leeway to a younger striker. Scott Hogan, look at the transfer fees he's gone for previously.
Look,
yeah, I don't know. I just think it's unfair to be judging him on the fact he's been given a shirt number. I mean, for God's sake, Prieto was given number 1, and you're not moaning about it.
I was surprised about that actually as well, but we didn't mention it. But either, yeah, I'm being picky. Look, Scott's a great striker who I stuck my neck out on Twitter and said I think he can get 15 goals. I stuck my neck out and said that. I'm still standing by that. If he plays enough games, if he's going to play 15 games, then he's not going to get 15 goals. But if he plays 40 games, I think he gets 15 goals, in my opinion. So is he unfairly given the number 9? No. But was it a surprise to me? Yes, is the point. I thought they were saving it.
That's not what you said.
I said it was a surprise, but there we go. But yeah, back to Saturday. Scott, I think, would come in. I can see what Corey's saying about Crowley as well. I think those sort of tighter games where a team's going to come and possibly sit in and maybe be a bit closer to their own box. Crowley's a bit more... He's a bit more deceptive in and around the box. He's better in those tighter areas than Terrell, who maybe stretches his legs on the break. I'm trying to think who else they could bring in. You know, it's a shame we haven't got Lecco for this game. I think Lecco is another great option that we've got to come in with his pace and his trickery and his ability to beat a man.
What bring Job through?
He just turned 15 today, hasn't he? So happy birthday, Joe. But yeah, do we want to run through our lineups for Saturday?
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm going to let Corey go again because he seems to call them before I do.
I
Go on.
Same back four. Obviously, Pedersen, Dean, the friendly Giants, Colin. Obviously, average this time. I'm not going to go for Zach. Sunjic and Daddy Clayton in midfield. And then Sanchez, Crowley, Sanchez. Crowley is going to replace Terrell, Hogan up front, and then Bay on the left, I imagine.
Is that 2 changes?
2 changes, yeah.
2 changes.
Oh, well, actually, no, 3. Average. Well,
no, last... into that deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did predict G-Cock, didn't you? Yeah. I don't...
Can I just say how absolutely terrifying Scott Hogan looks on the club website? They've over-edited him and he's
serial killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, good old Scott. We want him to strike fear into the opposition, but not the fans when they're looking on the squad pictures. Terrifying. I agree with you with the Hogan thing. I think he'll give Juki a rest because, like I say, he hadn't had a pre-season. I'm surprised he's played the 2, so I think he'll be looking to change it and have him on the bench for this one. Not because of his performances. He wouldn't be dropped because of that. Because he started really well again, as he always does, 100%, proper handful. Just think it's probably a game for Scott, this one. It's the Terrell or Crowley one that still bothers me. Terrell's not put a foot wrong. He looked awesome again on Saturday. I thought he was really clever in his positional play. He causes problems. He wins a lot of fouls for us. If you notice, he's always the one picking the fouls up with Sanchez. But Crowley possibly could be more effective at home.
Definitely.
Terrell could always be a great option to bring on. I'm gonna go same team as Corey. I'm gonna have to agree with him again. San Jose, definitely not match fit yet. I'd be surprised to see him on the bench. If I'm going to be ruthlessly honest, I don't even think he'll make the bench for this one because I don't think he's had a pre-season at all with
Bilbao.
Athletic Bilbao. I can't say it. That's just terrible.
Athletic Bilbao.
So yeah, guards and all that will still be on the bench. So even if you change the team around, you still got Juki, Gardner, Terrell.
Medina.
Medina on the bench.
Super strike Medina
was on the bench. That just was the final nail in the coffin for Davis and Kiftенbeld, in my opinion. If Medina's on the bench, I think it's the final nail in their coffin, personally. We've got good options. Seddon can always be brought on as well. Good option on that left-hand side. Can play wing back.
He's not one of my team. I'm just
thinking of the options he's got. But Emily will always pick a controversial pick, so go ahead.
I'll have Josh Dake. No, I'm joking.
You leave Dakers alone.
I'd have Terrell in.
You have Terrell.
And I'll tell you why. Keep him in, nullify him, score a couple of goals in the first half, take him off at half time, put Crowley on, Bob's your uncle, done.
Score a couple of goals first half?
Not necessarily him, but,
Yeah, you think we're going to score a couple of goals first half?
Against Rotherham, I'd say with Scott on the pitch and Bella, Scott and Bella will get on.
Scott and Bella. What a name.
Then take off Terrell because he'll set them both up, or Sanchez will set them up. Take off Terrell, swap him for Crowley, nullify the game, park the bus a little bit. Not as much as when we had Pep. And all good. We're going to win 2-0.
So you keep it. So the only change from our team is Terrell stays in.
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
James, what's your score prediction?
Did I say a draw on Saturday? I did, didn't I?
Yes.
I think I said 1-1, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I said a draw.
Yeah.
I'm going 2-0 Blues. That's me being uber confident as well. 2-0 Blues. Medina gets both. No, jokes. Mark Roberts' long throw in, no joke as well. Yeah, I think Scott will get one. And I fancy Sunjic to get one as well. I think he's been in red hot form. Yeah, I know.
Not a bad shout.
I think I fancy Sunjic and Hogan to get on the score sheet. And Blues to win 2-0. Comfortable game.
Yeah, why not?
I'm saying 3-0. I think Sanchez. I think a big Harley Dean header, I'm thinking. And a Scott Hogan goal, I think.
Corey,
just to end the show.
If we score 3 next week, I'll give you a tenner.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll virtual shake on it.
Virtual shake it. So.
Just want to end the show on saying how well Harley Dean's actually played since the start of the season. So keep it up. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, he's been super. He has been super. But we'll talk about him next week, I'm sure. There's been a lot to fit in this week.
There has, and I've been his biggest critic. But I wanted to say that before we finish the show.
Definitely.
Anything else, boys?
No, I think that just about wraps it up for this week's episode.
I think that's it then, guys. Thank you very much for listening or watching, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again at the same time next week, and keep right on.
Keep right on, guys.